The last time I reviewed the Podmic, it was 2019, and let's just say I did a horrendous job at it. At the time, this was a cheaper option for the broadcast style of microphones, and to be honest, I didn't get any wow vibes. It sold for 99 bucks, and in my own ignorance, I didn't bother using it with the very brand new Rodecaster Pro. And that was a short-sighted decision, and very much the kind of decision that 2019 me would make. Now, that FX processing made this original Podmic a much better value at the price. But the times have most certainly changed, and I have a bit of a different approach to reviewing products. So then, let's see exactly how this new Podmic USB stands up to the original, and answer if it's worth it, either to buy this as a first mic, or to upgrade from this, the original. So there's a couple big notes here. Though to start, outside of it being black, there's nothing really different about the build on this microphone. The body is basically the same. That is, until you get around to the back of the microphone. Of course, it is a combo USB and XLR mic, so you do have the additional controls. The scroll wheel for volume also operates as a button, allowing you to mute your headphones. The scroll on it is tactile, and it does feel good. All in all, nothing feels cheap on this microphone whatsoever. Two things stand out for me though. I love the yoke connection, the fact that you don't need the 5/8 to 3/8 reducer in this mic as it's built in. I love that Rode is making that a feature on all the mics they roll out. And the weight of this microphone is also actually quite impressive. It's 2 pounds. Now, this thing is an absolute unit and it could possibly double as home protection. At first, though, I thought it was heavier than the original, but after holding both at the same time, I'm not so sure about that. I'm gonna have to break out a scale soon. And of course, I can't fail to mention the pop filter. One of the coolest things out of the last few waves of Rode products. I personally love these things and think that Rode should release a whole lineup of these to cover all of their microphones. No word yet on whether or not they're gonna go on sale though they do have other clown noses on their website, so I can't imagine they're not going to. This is a dynamic cardioid microphone. It's 20 Hz to 20 kHz. Has a sensitivity of neg 57 dBV per Pascal, which is just a touch less sensitive than an SM58. And it works with all the Rode software, including Unify, as well as with mobile. Now for the off-axis rejection test of the Podmic USB. This is me speaking about 3 inches off the front of the capsule. Now I'm speaking about 3 inches off the side of the capsule.
And now I'm speaking into the rear of the microphone like an idiot.
Now for the plosive rejection test of the Podmic USB. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Now let's do the proximity effect test of the Podmic USB. This is me speaking about 3 inches off the front of the capsule. Right on top of the microphone. 3 inches off. Right on top. This is the Rode Podmic without any of the AFX processing on. Now we have the Rode AFX processing on. And this is what it sounds like with the AFX processing on. What do you think? Now I'm back to not having any processing at all. And now I have the processing on again. What do you think? Let me know down below. This is the Rode Podmic with the XLR connection. I don't have any of the AFX processing on. This is just the microphone going into the Rodecaster Pro and into the computer. And this is what it sounds like. Now we have the Rode Podmic USB with the USB connection going into the computer. None of that Rodecaster Pro stuff. All we've got is straight out the USB into the computer, and none of the AFX are on. And this is what it sounds like. What do you think? Which one do you like as we go between the two? That guy's an idiot. That guy's a jerk. Now we're going to put the new Rode Podmic USB up against the original Podmic. Okay, and this is going to be a back and forth between these two microphones. Now, this is just to find out whether or not the sound has changed between these microphones. I'm very curious to see how they hold up. Now, both are going into my Rodecaster Pro. Both have the AFX off. So we're not going to be looking at that, but we'll see how both mics handle the exact same settings with AFX. But what do you think as I go between these two microphones? Again, this is the only real comparison that matters. We've all heard the comparisons of the pod mics and how it compares to other microphones like the SM58. But how does it sound when it goes side by side with the older generation? This is the Podmic USB at about 1 inch away. This is the original series Podmic at about 1 inch away. Now I've turned on the exact same settings between these two microphones. The Aphex processing is on. The only thing I don't have is the noise gate turned off on both of them. And this is what it sounds like as I go between the two microphones. What do you think? Does it make a difference now that the processing is added? Let's address all those comments out there about the pricing of the new Podmic. You have to remember that both of these mics are still available to purchase. It isn't like Rode dropped the cheaper version to boost sales of the USB one here. And I think that's where any and all conversations about the price of this microphone kind of have to end. This, the Podmic USB, is more of a microphone with way more options and versatility than the original. And for that, I think the pricing's fair. This offers people the chance to buy into the Rode lineup and get the Aphex processing, as well as the usability of this mic with Unify without going full ham into one of the Rodecaster Pro options. This microphone offers so much more to the end user than this original did. That said, the original is still a great buy at $99 if you already have a Rodecaster Pro, or if you just have no use for the USB options. Literally everybody wins here, so I don't know what the argument's about. So should you buy it? Now, first up, I think we need to talk about how this Podmic did in the comparisons. I could hear a slight differential between the original and the USB version. The new Podmic sounded a bit warmer, and the original was a bit harsher in the top end. Now, applying the Aphex processing didn't do much to hide that very small difference, but both mics took a step forward with that processing on. And when the pop filter clown nose was applied to the new Podmic, the differential just grew. As for the USB and XLR comparison, I heard even less differential, considering that the mic is going through the exact same preamps in the Rodecaster Pro 2 versus the internal preamp on this mic. It's kind of to be expected. So with all that in mind, there is sufficient reasoning if you wanted to do an upgrade to the new microphone from the original Podmic. It's an ever so slightly different profile, and with the addition of the new pop filter clown nose, there's a lot of upswing to this new mic. As for those of you that might be looking at the new Podmic USB as your first purchase, well, it's really hard to find any downside to it. From aesthetics to performance, this is Rode flexing their superior USB research and development again by taking a fan favorite and turning it into a USB microphone. And with that, this microphone is making it even harder to recommend any other mic without that Rode logo on the side. With the whole suite of options available to you with the Rode solution, including Unify, I can't think of a better XLR and USB combo mic on the market right now. And that's saying a lot. I hope all the other companies are taking notes here. But what did you think though? Are you planning on picking up the new Rode Podmic USB? And if you're on a bit of a Rode kick, check this out here. Plenty to keep you busy for a while.